Five top drummers of all time. These are in no specific order, and but I'll try to keep it in sequence of when I actually heard the drummer for the first time, and I'll let you know why these are the top five drummers that I have here on the list, and secondly, the song or the album that really got me started on listening to these specific drummers. So let's start with one of the most well-known, who's on a lot of people's lists, is John Bonham. Now, I got to tell you, the studio albums, Led Zeppelin 1 and 2, weren't the albums that turned me on to John Bonham whatsoever. In fact, it was The Song Remains the Same. So me and a couple of buddies were sitting down one night, and actually one of my friends was a drummer as well. He was really good, actually, at that age of like 15 or 16. And we're sitting there, and, the parents were away, so we indulged a little bit, had a bit of an altered mind. And I got to tell you, I was really zoned in on this Whole Lot of Love live, Madison Square Gardens, on The Song Remains the Same. I just like, that song was unbelievable. I was listening to Bonham's kit, his sounds, all the intricacies, all the different change-ups, his fills, and I was blown away. I was completely blown away. So basically, there you have it. I mean, you have one song from one album that completely sold me on John Bonham. Secondly, number two drummer of all time, Neil Peart, my fellow Canadian from the Toronto area. Also a great guy. May he rest in peace. When I became a fan of him, I can remember the actual moment, and I've talked about it when I've reviewed some of the songs here on the channel, is when I was basically introduced to Neil Peart out of an argument. And in fact, I was trying to say Keith Moon's a better drummer than anybody, and so this guy introduced me to Exit Stage Left live album, recorded in Montreal, Canada, and I know they kind of shared it with Glasgow as well, the concert there. And so anyway, when I heard the trees, and then Xanadu, what the hell is this? Is this some kind of trickery in the recording, or is this some kind of hack in the post-production? No, it wasn't. It was just an incredible musician, Neil Peart, playing like I've never heard anyone before. Now look, this is very young in my life. I just started playing drums, and I was fashioning myself after Keith Moon, more or less. I was all over the kit all the time. I had a little cheap set, a second-hand, third-hand set of Ludwigs. I started really tightening up my drumming practice after listening to Peart for the first time. So that was really cool. Number three on the list, we're going to get into prog rock now. Jeff Beck used this drummer on the Wired album, Narada Michael Walden. When I heard the song Sophie from and Narada Michael Walden, there was quite a few drummers on the Wired album, by the way. When I listened to the song Sophie, I really say, go listen to Sophie and listen to it vicariously through the drummer's eyes and ears. Unbelievable, nuanced, incredible, skillful drumming by Narada Michael Walden. Totally sold me on the whole prog rock movement. Started really getting into prog rock after that. Okay, so number four, another sort of session musician, I would say, Terry Bozzio. When I first heard Chic Your Booty by Frank Zappa, I was blown away. I mean, some of the songs were, so-so. But when I heard the song City of Tiny Lights and a couple of the other sort of short, tight songs, Bozzio's drumming was incredible. That was live as well. So, I mean, the tightness and the skill level of Terry Bozzio was something new. Like, that was just incredibly something spectacular, quite frankly. And number five, last but not least, I have to give it up for one of my original favorites, which is Keith Moon. Look, there's a big argument with a lot of musicians that really say, Keith Moon is a bit of a hacker, a bit of a crazy guy. Yeah, he might be all of that, but he's also a really good drummer. Like, you have to go back in time to when The Who, I mean, they have a very long history all the way from the 60s, And you know, you got to give the guy credit because, quite frankly, I mean, nobody was like, well, no, I shouldn't say nobody. I'm exaggerating a bit here, but man, he was just so active, and he just had that. He could dominate songs, but he had good hand skills as well. He had good hand speed, and when you listen to some of the more nuanced songs, I had just finished doing a song, "The Real Me" by from the album Quadrophenia, and a song like that, when you sit back and you listen to Keith Moon and how he played with John Entwistle on that particular song, would really have you second guessing yourself if you think he's just a hacker. And there's a lot of other songs. I mean, even their last album, Who Are You? There's some great drum tracks on the songs of that album, Who Are You? Listen to that, The Wild Animals. Crazy. That's why I'm mic'd up here today. My favorite drummers of all time. And of course, I have a bonus section for you. The best live performance that I've ever seen from a drummer that I never heard of in my entire life until probably a couple of years ago. And that's the live performance of Dire Straits' Alchemy with Terry Williams at the helm. That blew my mind. I mean, essentially, I learned about Alchemy through my music review and reaction channel. And then when I actually heard Sultans of Swing and saw Terry Williams going away at it, I was just like blown away. And the bottom line is, Terry had a little extra adrenaline apparently that night, and his dad was in the audience, some family members, etc. So, I mean, you know, he really gave it his all, and he did a remarkable job, and the rest of the band was incredible that night as well. So that was my best surprise live performance by a drummer, and that was really rather recently in the last couple of years. So that's it. Do you guys agree, disagree? Love to hear your comments below. And before you go, give me a little subscribe or a thumbs up at least, and I'll see you real soon with another song review and reaction.